I'm in a wee village here called Garva, sort of, so maybe 20 miles from my house. There's a wee shop there just behind me that's well known for this famous ice cream. So I thought I would actually go in and try this ice cream. It turns out they actually sell model cars as well, and they have quite a selection of Sunstar and stuff in there. You know what, I recently bought that Golf. I couldn't, my eyes popped out of my head. Sitting in the windowsill is years. I was sitting there waiting for me. And hello, how you all doing? Yes, well, that was yesterday, and as you can see there, I was a very happy man. That was a model with, I'd been on Outlook, and yes, they were sold out years ago, and everywhere, and anywhere would had them listed. Yes, they were out of stock and sold out and gone, and I couldn't find any one of them models anywhere online. Norev models are models I rate highly, and I do have collected a lot of the auto models, but yeah, I'm sort of steering away from those as a last while, and I'm not trying to buy as many of those. Yes, auto models do look fantastic, but the build quality is poor, and for anyone who collects a lot of them, you know that. Yes, they look good, but they're fragile and they're delicate, and you have to be extremely careful with them, which is why I do sort of prefer the Norev, the Solido models and stuff, where they're a wee bit more robust and they're a wee bit more. The Norev's proper die cast is strong, and that's you're not as afraid of touching it or anything, accidental damage, because they're not as easily damaged. And everything's screwed together. If you need to repair something or you want to modify it, you can just screw it apart and screw it together again. Where the auto models it's a glue session, and removing glue, they can be a nightmare. But Norev models, yes, I've got a few. They need to get out of the boxes. There's an old school one that was a lucky find in a wee vintage antique shop in Portrush one time, and you can see like the wee. It is sort of like, that was like the French version of Max Power. So that was like a car what came from that era. Another one I got from a friend is the Sierra Cosworth. This is one I need to get out of the box. But Norev does do fully opening models, but this is a fully sealed die cast. But it does look incredibly good. It's one that I do need to get out of the box and display it. Hello, I do like that as well, how the Norev models are packaged in a strong, secure box, and you can just display it like that, and it looks fine. Another one I found lately was the Williams Clio. That is a fully opening model, and one that I need to get out of the box. And then I stumbled across this one yesterday in Coleraine. I like that one because it's Chris Meek. Chris Meek is a Northern Ireland rally driver, a very successful one, and from Dungannon, which maybe about 20 miles from me. So yeah, I like that car, and I liked that was a car of Chris Meek's. Plus, it's a Citroen. I don't have many model Citroens, so it's nice to examine a different shape. Another one I got lately from Mr. Fong in Edinburgh, with a wee Renault 5 GT Turbo, which is going to be modified when I get the time. But of course, the one I'm most pleased about is the one I picked up yesterday, the Golf. And yes, it isn't a Blue Motion Golf, but I know it's missing the side skirts and the front bumper, and on my car is slightly different. I may have to try a bit of milliput action just to see if I can fix that, but this is one I'm looking to get out of the box and examine. Also, thanks to Scale Car Dubs. It's a wee 3D printing company based in Holland. I do have my wheels, the Radiate. It's R8 SD11s or something, but I did get a few other Radiate wheels there from Scale Car Dubs as well. I've got them painted and stuff. That's sort of cool too. I did debate over buying those ones for my car, so now I can see what they may have looked like. I'm sure they would have been fine too, but I've got to really like these here on my car. So, model car collecting. Why do I collect model cars? Simply because I like cars, and as no, I'm not a millionaire. I can't buy all these cars in real life, and I don't have a massive warehouse to store a pile of real cars. But it's nice to be able to, you take one of these models and like this wee cabrio from Norev, and I can examine it three-dimensionally, and I can see every angle from it, just like you would if you were examining a real car. And they're done true to scale, so it's accurate, and it's the dimensions and stuff of the car is true. I maybe haven't showed this yet on YouTube, but this is the diorama that I sort of put together. And this is not a professional, fantastic diorama build. But yes, I've got the Norev Ford Escort Cosworth in there. That's two Norev Mark IIIs. I did put this wee sort of upstairs area to get where I do need to repaint a set of pull balls. That sort of get a wee 3D printed desk and computer and stuff, and the wee Coke machine that was from All Scale diorama. And got those wee tire racks and stuff off eBay, and again, Mr. Fong in Edinburgh provided me with that wee tire machine and wheel balancer and stuff. Well, that's getting there. I put up those wee lights, and I've made that other wee light bar that I try at night time. Just for different styles of photos where I can change the colour of it. So I'll maybe give me different options for photos. I decided to save you from all the unboxing. Yes, of course you know how to open a box. You don't need to watch a man opening a box. And it's here we have it, the Mark 6 Golf. I think as far as the Mark 6 Golf goes in a four-door, this is as close as I'm going to get to the actual car I own in real life. I did have to give it a wee clean up and stuff there, but that's maybe a bit more true to life too, for I did have to spend maybe a day detailing my own car when I got it. And yes, that's obviously left-hand drive, which isn't an impossible thing to fix. I've had 3D printers before, doing my right-hand drive dashboards for a couple of different cars, and it works out quite well. So maybe, I know this maybe isn't a model what everyone's going to have a great desire for, but for me, this means a lot getting this here, because it's nice for once to be able to get a model off the actual car I own. To make it more like my own. Yes, my own doesn't have the fog lights, and I like what my own doesn't have the fog lights. I think it's cleaner looking or something. Also, for the guys that this is important to, yes, everything's opening up, and you do have the steering, and I see it does have that. It's got a bit of suspension in it, but I'll not worry about that. Yes, I know guys that are adamant that the wheels have to spin and wheels, but for me, that's an accident waiting to happen. Spinning wheels means that's going to accidentally roll off a shelf or something on me someday, which I have had happen recently, and luckily enough didn't cause any damage. But on a model, I like the model and the wheels stuck. Again, it's a model. It's not going to be played with. It's not going to be moving. It doesn't need to move. It just needs to sit still and not move. And yes, there's ways that you could re-engineer this. You could remove that whole sort of spring section there, and you could maybe like feed an axle through there and put your new wheels onto the axle, or drill a hole somewhere. You could redo it. But for me, I don't need to give myself the hassle, because for me the wheels rotating is not important and isn't really desired. Maybe exact perfect replica, but it's close enough, and for the time being that I'm very happy. Yes, yeah, you can go mad and make the side skirts and stuff like that, but I think anybody who sees it will know what it's supposed to be. But so thanks very much for watching, and thanks to the shop with no name in Garva, and thanks to Scaled Car Dubs, I hope I get that name right, for the wheels. And yeah, I don't know when I'll be next making a video, but I'll see you when I see you. Goodbye.